Your relationship with Evan. You're here in Pullman, so is he. How close of contact have you been able to keep over the years?
Over the years, Evan and I have had actually very close contact. Every time we have family events and whatnot, Evan and I always hanging out. Both of us are very big sports fans, so it's just right then and there kind of clicked. I'll say throughout the family, I could not think of a more or a bigger Cougar fan than Evan. No matter what sport was going on, Evan was always updating, checking in, making sure that there was a TV around or a radio that we could definitely listen into. And so, yeah, like I said, every family event, me and Evan were pretty close together. Calling each other on birthdays and all that. And even like for my graduation, he wrote me his own personal card, wrote me that. So Evan and I are actually pretty close. We keep it even here. Still same contact, FaceTime, text, whatnot. Go grab dinner, go frozen yogurt, whatnot. So we stay pretty close.
Yeah, so you did your undergraduate here. You said Evan's a huge Cougar fan. Is it that family connection you think that first got him to be so passionate about WSU sports?
Yeah, no, just the whole entire family. Our family goes way back through Washington State on that side. Our Evan and I's great uncle is actually the reason why it's called Gibb Pool. And so just going way back, we've had family coming through here, and so Washington State just kind of was in our blood, like from the day we were born. Evan's mom went here, and so just having Washington State, like the availability for him to go here, just meant the world to everyone. Because I know he always, even when he was younger, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to Washington State. I'm gonna go to Washington State." And then when he got this opportunity to come here, it just was. It's amazing. You never thought it would happen, and then it did, and it's one of the coolest things.
I don't know if you were there with Evan when he got the news that he was going to be able to attend school here, but what do you remember, or what did you hear about his reaction? Because I imagine that was a pretty special moment.
Oh yeah, no, that I talked to his mom after, like kind of shortly after, because he got accepted, and she had talked to my parents about it, and then it was shortly after that I got accepted. And so I remember them telling me, like, after he got accepted, that it was just the coolest. To him, that was it. Like, being able to go to Washington State, he had talked about going all his life, oh, I'm going to go to Washington State. He wants to go to Washington State. And then to finally get the news, hey, you're going to Washington State. That's like to him, that was awesome. That was the coolest thing in the world. And I don't think, people realized, to his parents too, that was amazing. Like, to get this opportunity, again, like I said, when he was younger, no, it wasn't an opportunity that was about. And now to get this, it's just unbelievable.
How have you seen Evan really grow more independent as a person, just being up here out on his own? Obviously, you're here supporting him along the way, but through the ROAR program as well. Just what do you think that's done for him on an individual level and just really helping him grow up?
Oh, it's done a substantial amount. At first when he got here, there was quite a few texts. He'd call me, FaceTime me, asking me a lot of questions about, this, like just little things even. Hey, about going to the grocery store. Hey, I'm going to get food. Hey, even just watching a show or watching the game. But then as the semester's gone, I know the ROAR program itself is really trying to emphasize, being a little more independent. And those type of texts and calls have decreased. We'll still text and call, just, as family, as friends, like all that. But the kind of requests, like going to the grocery store or getting food and all that, he's pretty much on his own. They live on their own. I've gone over, met his roommates and done all that. And, they're in charge of laundry. They're in charge of making sure they go to class, making sure that they're on their time schedule. And so, I've seen Evan walk into class. Like, he comes here. I've seen him walking through Bowler, quick, hey Evan, what's going on? And then he's talking real quick, and he even reminded me, hey, I gotta go, I got class at this time, so I gotta make sure I'm over there. So this program has allowed him to become like very independent with his life, which is amazing.
You mentioned being able to like grab dinner with him on occasion whenever you both have free time. How many times per week would you say that you're able to see Evan?
Per week, I'd like to say the last couple have been a little bit less, but before that, it was probably about, I would see him whether it was through soccer, whether it was through here, even football if our family was in town. I'd say at least once a week for the first couple months. I mean, recently it's just been a little less, just with school picking up, finals going on, and as the end of the year for sports, just getting a little busy. But no, I'd say before that, it's probably about once a week we made contact at least.
With sports too, how many athletic events would you say on average your teams has Evan been able to come out and watch this fall? Because it sounds like he's a diehard, and it doesn't matter what team's playing, he's going to want to go and find out what's going on.
Oh, I know soccer wise. I mean, that's definitely. I remember his first game. He was working at soccer. I went to that game. It was right after class, and I went and sat on the hillside, like closest to the dorm, and little known that Evan's just sitting right up there. Because they said they had him help with the setup, but he wasn't able to stand on the sideline. But that to him it didn't matter. Like he sat, by him. He was sitting with his Roar program, a couple of the leaders, but he was still cheering them on. But other than that, sport wise, I've heard he's told me he's gone to every football game, that's for sure. And he's watched every football game on TV. He makes sure if it's shown in the Cub that he's there. And then soccer, he's gone to beginning of the year. He was trying to figure out how to get to the games and whatnot, and depending on if I had class and stuff, I'd help him get there. But I'd say he tries to go to at least one sporting event a week. Like he's pretty consistent with that. I mean, that's his thing. He loves to watch sports.
Seeing him out there on the soccer field too, just helping the equipment manager set up practices and drills and the pregame warm-up, and with the work that you're doing here as a graduate assistant, what has it been like for you to be able to share some of your work with Evan and sort of have that relationship through athletics now?
It's really cool, to actually be able to work with Evan, in the job field. I mean, we're always going to hang out, always going to talk, but then to have this relationship actually be applied to what I want to do work-wise, and to him come here for college and work-wise what he likes to do, to have him work with me essentially, or even work with Coach Thackeray, which is just awesome. It's a different type of relationship that we're building on top of the one that we already had. And so it's pretty cool to talk about. The soccer team comes in, oh hey, I was just talking to your friend Evan, talking this, and to me that's really cool. It's they realize this is a great opportunity for him, and they love him. They love working with him. They've all I haven't heard one negative thing about people working with Evan, and that they love his energy, his enthusiasm, his drive for the game. It doesn't matter what sport it is, he wants WSU to win. And so to see that and kind of where I work, I think it's truly amazing. It's awesome.
Just putting everything that you said there in perspective, do you think that's sort of a reflection of this WSU athletics community and what this group of people is able to do to help out individuals like Evan as well, and just bring everyone together? Is that WSU at its best, would you say?
Most definitely. I mean, the fact that in WSU athletics and in the education department itself, I mean, the way that they work together with all this is, I've said it before, it's amazing, but it's I've gone to my professor, talked to him about my homework, and then he brought up something about, I have a student in my class about the Roar program, don't know if you guys got any internships available. This is at the very beginning of the year, and I had not talked about any, the Roar program or Evan to my professors, and then just shortly after the conversation started, I had told him, oh yeah, no, my cousin's in the Roar program, and he asked who it was, and I said it was Evan. Well, that was the student he was talking about. They were going out of their way to help Evan find an internship. They wanted to get him an internship within athletics, and they knew I was a graduate assistant in athletics. So the fact that the education department was able to work with the athletic department to get Evan this opportunity just shows how much a community-based Washington State truly is.
It seems like this is something now too, education and athletics. It's something that you and Evan can both relate to, since on different levels you're kind of going through the same thing right now.
Yeah, no, it is. It's funny. At the beginning of the semester, when Evan asked what my master's was going to be in, I told him sports management, and he related that to I would probably be teaching him sports management at first, but I thought it was a kind of a funny thing to talk about for a while, because then he'd start asking me, hey, what are we going to learn this week? I was like, kind of Evan, I'm in the same program essentially, but I'm not going to be your professor. But we still talk about the sports management. I talk to him about what he's learning in class. I'll talk to him about what I'm learning in class. and obviously the topics are very similar, and so we kind of go back and forth with that. And he talks about it a lot. He loves talking about what he learns in class. He loves to talk about. I mean, there was one day talking about diversity in sports, ethnicity in sports, and we went to dinner and we talked about it for about a half hour. So,
do you think that based off of what you're doing for your master's and your intended career path, pushed Evan in that direction to want to pursue sport management as his degree and what he wants to potentially do going forward?
So I actually don't, because I think Evan, just the love of the game that he had even before knowing what I wanted to do, gave him that drive. I know in high school he was the football manager, and he, like Evan, participated in swimming, heck of a swimmer. And so his love for the game, love of like just sports in general in Washington State, I think gave him that drive that he wanted to somehow, some way contribute to Washington State athletics.
Remind me again, which side of the family are you and Evan connected on?
So my dad is Evan's mom's brother. So
Okay.
it's on my dad's side.
Is there a particular WSU sports moment that you can think back on that you were able to share with Evan, whether it be just watching a game on TV, going to a football game, something with the soccer team that really stands out amongst all others that really encompasses Evan's passion for sports here?
I mean, I can just think back to this past year. We were at matches at my grandfather's funeral, but we were, the whole family. One thing we were like, this is what Grandpa wants, to watch the game. So we made sure that the whole family got to watch the game, and I sat right next to Evan. We were watching the football game together, and just everything was positive about it. Like Washington State, they made a little mistake. They said we got the next one, and has continued to believe in Washington State, even if something wasn't going our way. He thought, okay, it's gonna happen. And then even just a few weeks later, Washington State soccer was playing Oregon, and I was watching the game with him. And from what I remember, that game got pretty close towards the end. And I mean, Evan again, but that one, he always was, oh, we got this, we're gonna score, And then no matter what the play was, no matter if it was a mistake with Washington State or Oregon just had a phenomenal play, he always said, Washington State's going to bounce back. They're going to bounce back. We got this next play. We're going to score a goal. So his continued drive for every sport and support for every sport was awesome.
Bringing it all together now, I'm still learning about the Roar program too. It's a new program, but just based off of what it's already done for Evan, how do you foresee him potentially continuing to grow and evolve as a person, and then just someone who's passionate about sports through this opportunity that he's been given over the years?
I mean, growing as a person, kind of as we talked on earlier, he's becoming so much more independent. Like, he's cooking for himself. He's able to make sure, one thing we talk about Evan, when you go get dinner, let's go through the line once. Evan can eat a bunch, but he's kind of he's understanding, okay, I'll go through once. He's doing a great job balancing that. And I mean, we'll tell him, okay, maybe let's have soda once a week. And so I always check in with him, kind of got a little joke going with that. But, I mean, just for how do I want to put it? He's learning to become very independent on himself, know what to do and what not to do, even without the help of others. I mean, the Roar program's doing a great job supporting them and giving them the opportunities to do that. And then if they do need help, they are going to help them. But I mean, he's continuing to grow. Just be a college student. He's living with his roommates. He's living in the apartments like any other college student would. And with the athletics, I mean, the trust that they were giving him and the trust that they saw in him, that, okay, no, he can definitely do this. He can do this. And it seemed, I wasn't able to make every soccer game, but from what I heard, that they were giving him more responsibilities as time goes. And so his drive to want to do more and the trust for him to actually be able to do more seems to keep growing just as the years go.
And last one for you now. I know that you're in a different stage of your life and you've got different things coming up on the horizons now too, but even when it's all said and done for Evan, could you potentially see yourself staying involved with the Roar program and following it in some way, just based off of everything that it's done to help Evan out?
Most definitely. I mean, I got a connection through the Roar program family-wise and a connection through work-wise. One of our coaches, Steve Yen, is very involved with this program as well. So to be able to have that both aspects and what that I've seen them do and the events I've been to see what they've done for these kids and families is something I want to continue to support, just throughout the years. Like, it's something I truly believe in, and it's something that, I want more kids to have this opportunity.